South, in the trenches, grinding with the Bucs on the line. Me and Beckles got that wisdom football mastermind. Talking Tampa Bay, we discussing every play from the legends of the past to the stars.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to In the Trenches. Before I get to our Buccaneers, let me thank Manny and Gordon for making this whole thing possible. We've been talking about this creative loafing case for a long time, and it's going to all be on us here real soon. It should be fun. It should be fun when you expose somebody who are thieves. So that's what creative loafing is. All right, back to In the Trenches. We're going to continue to do the In the Trenches. I had some ideas about how I'm going to do in the off season. I'm going to try to bring some of my former Buccaneer brothers on and interview them a little bit, see what they've been doing. I just had a conversation with Warren Sapp today, via text, and we have some pretty darn good conversations. He never holds back. Got a chance to see Warren before the Buccaneer game at his tailgate. Had some of the best barbecue I ever had in my life. I went by the Bone tailgate as well. Had some brisket shop, so I had a lot of brisket in me before the game, but I ended up coming back to Dignitary Cafe to watch the game. So our Buccaneers lose 23-20. Early in that game, I said, this is going to be an overtime game. It just seemed tight. And you knew that it's going to be a mistake here, mistake there. That's going to be the difference. I can't say that Washington isn't a better team than the Buccaneers. I can't say that because they outplayed us, all right? The score was close. But when you talk about, a team having 69 plays and the Bucs having 44 plays, if your team had 25 more plays and won, you would be like, we outplayed them. So could the Buccaneers have won that game? No doubt about that. We know that. But you can't make bonehead plays in the playoffs and expect to win. Bucs had numerous chances, numerous plays could have made the difference. But when you amass a bunch of bonehead plays, you don't win. The muffed handoff to McMillan. I heard people saying, why are we running that play? We ran the play all year. It's a handoff. They probably ran it 100 times this year in practice, and they probably fumbled it once. It's a chance. You can fumble a handoff to a running back. So I don't want to hear about it being, too much of a play. I don't want to hear about that. It's something that happens, all right? Fumbles happen, unfortunately. For it to happen at that time is, it's unfortunate and hard to come back from. The 3rd and 1, the Barton premature snap. From other people are saying that he was trying to draw people off sides. That sounds like an excuse to not stress out a rookie. In that situation, you can't take a chance. If you're trying to draw somebody off sides, somebody has to be glaringly offside for you to snap that ball prematurely. So I'm not buying that one. But that premature snap hurt the Buccaneers, no doubt about that. But when you're giving up 17 play drives and Washington has the ball for 9 minutes, okay, you don't win many games like that. You just don't. Like, you remember the Buccaneers when they were in the Super Bowl, okay? I always tell people, when you think your team is good enough to make it to the Super Bowl, compare it to the Super Bowl teams. And the Buccaneers have 2 Super Bowl teams. Those 2 Super Bowl teams, you think anybody with a rookie quarterback is going to have a 17-play drive? Not a chance. This is zero chance. In your house, that first defense that won a Super Bowl, Monty Kiffin's holding them to nothing. Maybe 3-6 tops. Jaden Daniels have no chance against a Monty Kiffin defense. Not a chance. And that's not talking down Todd Bowles. I just don't think we're that damn talented, to be honest with you. And we're going to go over that as well. Now, the next drive after the 17-play drive, Yaya Diaby gets a sack, and, Zion gets a holding call and negates the sack. It's too much to overcome. We had 12 men in the huddle. In the playoffs, you have 12 men in the huddle. That's a bad luck. That's a 3rd week mistake, 12 men in the huddle. There was an illegal pick on McMillan on the Bucky touchdown, which was questionable, but, we've had that call against us quite a few times. It was 17-13 on the 5-yard line, 4th and goal. Levante mugs a dude. we got to find a cover linebacker. We don't really have a cover linebacker. As great as Levante David still is, at times he's a liability as a cover linebacker. I still want him in there, but we just don't have that cover guy, right? At times Washington made it so Yaya Diaby is out there covering Eckler, and he has Yaya Diaby all turned around. That's getting out coached a little bit. So you got to give Washington their love for that. Offensively, I thought Baker left the pocket a couple times too soon. It's hard to blame the offense when they didn't have the ball. Our offense barely had the ball. Like, I don't remember Washington doing anything crazy to stop the Buccaneers. We just didn't have the ball. I think Baker was 15 for 18. When you lose a game and you have 18 throws, something funky happened in that game. That was a funky game. I didn't think Baker played great. I didn't think Baker played poorly. I thought the play where Baker ran over old boy just before the first half and then came back later and threaded the needle to Mike Evans on my boy Lattimore, who that was their 14th time playing each other, by the way. You think you're going to know each other when you play each other 14 times? And I was thinking about that. Anybody who I played that many times, and I have a good story with that. At the Pro Bowl, I was talking to Will Shields, and I asked Will Shields, who's the best player you played against? And he goes, it's hands down John Randall. I go, how many times did you block John? He goes, just once. That was enough. I looked at him, I go, do you know how many times I blocked John? He goes, how many? 3, 4? I blocked John Randall 16 times, and that's 15 times too many. But for those guys to play each other 14 times, like if you play Madden and you play somebody in Madden 5 times, you know all their plays. To play each other 14 times, but then you got to start playing Vulcan mind tricks, and I'm going to do this, and maybe I'll do this time. Sports is it's like chess if you play chess. Sometimes you got to do the unexpected. But I thought Baker, that truck, I thought was going to get the momentum going because it kind of, you felt a little momentum. And when it was 10-10 at halftime, I said to the group, the Bucs were going to win this game. At 10-10 at halftime, we played like crap in the first half. Didn't do much offensively. And I go, the Bucs are a second half team. And defensively, I think we played good enough to win that game. We just gave up short fields and just did some bonehead things, period. I thought Mike Evans played hard, but once again, he didn't have enough time to do anything. And if look at any team who has 25 more plays than the opposition, and I bet you win 85% of the time, if not higher. I thought Kalijah Kancey came out with a lot of energy. Like I heard people talking about the play where Jaden Daniels straight arm Kalijah Kancey, and I watched that play about 10 times in a row. It's so easy to be on your couch and go, man, you should make that play. But when you're coming off of a block and you're moving one way and the quarterback's moving the other way and he sticks his long-ass arm on you, boy, it's hard to reach through that, okay? And because Jaden Daniels, he's a quarterback, but he's probably 6'4", 220 pounds, probably a pretty darn strong athlete, and he probably has pretty darn long arms. So I didn't think that was a misplay by Kalijah Kancey. I'm going to give him love for getting in the backfield. It was good to see Shaq Barrett out there making a couple plays. We needed more of that. I don't know what's going to be the future of Shaq Barrett. I don't know the future of this team. It's a weird aesthetic because it's a young team, but I think it still needs some shuffling. Because some of our young players, some of our younger players, I think need to be replaced. That's real. I don't know if there's a bigger anomaly this year than Cade Otton. Cade Otton went from me saying that he's a lunch pail guy in the first 3 games to we had about a 6-game stint in the middle of the season where he was the best tight end in all of football. And the last 6 weeks, he didn't do a darn thing. Nothing. I think he had 2 catches the other day. So I don't know if Cade Otton's injured. I don't know what the deal is, but we've never got a whole full season out of Cade Otton. So you're going to go into the next year's season thinking that Cade Otton's the guy? And the Buccaneers have to make some decisions like that. You go on next year, Cade Otton's the guy, and he gives you 6 great games again. That's not good enough. I'll give you another name, Jamel Dean. If and when Jamel Dean gets out on the market, you know how much money Jamel Dean's going to make? can make a lot of money. But when you have a player like that on your team, you don't always know. Sometimes you don't think he's that valuable. But Jamel Dean misses too many games for me. But if you have a corner who can cover a wide receiver in the NFL, you got to retain him. But I still think the Bucs need to go in a different direction because it's not working with Jamel Dean. I don't know what it is. There's something about his game. I think he's rigid as a defensive back. He doesn't make enough plays. He doesn't break on the ball enough. You almost want to go out and get a young kid and start grooming him. And that's the thing. Nobody really. I mean, the Bucs have made the playoffs 4 years straight, and not in a glamorous way. Okay. The reality of it is, if the same 4 teams that the Bucs had that made the playoffs the last 4 years was in a different division, they may not have made the playoffs ever. That's the reality of it. Okay, and we're in the South, and that's the way it goes. And the Bucs deserve to go to the playoffs. They deserve it. But are we to a point now where we're just satisfied with going to the playoffs? I don't think any of us are. I don't believe we need a change with Todd Bowles. Everybody, let's bring Liam Cohen in. Okay, well then let's give the reins to somebody who we don't know if the team's going to fight for. We won't know who our defensive coaches are. We won't know if our defense is good. That's a lot of not knowing, okay? But I do know this team fights for Todd Bowles, okay? I do know that. But watching them lose to Washington, at home, I can't say that was out of character. I can't, because that's the way the Buccaneers have been here the last few years. But I just think Jason Light maybe has to go a different direction in one way or another. And I don't know what that direction is. I tell you, they need to get a cover linebacker. They're going to have to make a lot of decisions at wide receiver, man. You come back another year with Mike as the guy. What do you do with Chris Godwin? There's a lot of question marks. Cornerback, what's going to happen at cornerback? To me, the Bucs need to become faster. They just need more speed. I don't see enough speed out there. I don't see enough fear on either side of the ball. And that's rushing the passer. That's, Bucky has some quicks to him, but we just don't have a lot of speed out there. So the offseason is going to be important as it normally does. Jason Light's going to have to earn his keep. Todd Bowles is not going anywhere. But I think the seat is warm already for next year. But Todd, I would say, was kind of warm this year. If Todd Bowles went 6-10, you guys have been asking for his head. You're asking for his head anyways, and he went 10-7. So Todd Bowles, when it's the going gets tough, he ain't scared of it. He's not scared of it. We have a Baker Mayfield who you can build around. Bucky Irving, who should be fine next year. Rashad, we'll see what we can do with him. And we have a couple pieces here and there. We have an offensive line to play pretty darn well this year. Stay pretty darn healthy. So we just need more speed. We just need some more explosion. But it's really hard to go into a draft thinking I'm going to get a rookie that's going to turn, the momentum and mentality of a team. It's really hard to do. You usually have to go get somebody in free agency, and I don't know what the Bucs' free agent situation is, and I don't know if we're that place anymore. Anyways, I'm going to continue to do In the Trenches. I don't know if it'll be every week, but I'm definitely going to continue to do this in the offseason. Once again, thank you to Manny and Gordon. And I pop on here and there on the radio. I'm on the Mike Calter show on Monday mornings at 9 a.m. on the Bone. I am also on 620, the Pat and Aaron show, Thursdays, for Dignitary Thursdays from 8 to 9. So I will be talking a little Buccaneers and Aaron's mother and everything. A lot of fun stuff. So I appreciate you guys and gals listening In the Trenches. It's not going anywhere. We'll continue to do it in the offseason. It just sucks we won't be talking about our Buccaneers. Everybody have a wonderful week, and please be safe. Peace out.
Yo, in the trenches, grinding with the Bucs on the line. Ian Beckles got that wisdom football mastermind. Talking Tampa Bay, we discussing every play from the legends of the past to the stars of today.
Some law firms, they try to sell you on how big they are. But wouldn't you prefer to know how qualified and experienced and credentialed their lawyers are?
Call Manny and Gordon or visit us at fightnegligence.com.